Well, thank God 2020's over. All I can say is Happy New Year. Let's look forward to nothing but blue skies ahead. Welcome everyone to inCARnation today. For once we don't have a $500,000 car or even a $100,000 car. We've got a $5,000 car. And how good is that? Renault Clio Sport, 2002 model. And we've already driven it quite a bit this morning, and it's great, isn't it?
How much fun can you have with $5,000? Quite a lot, as it turns out.
$6,000 limiter, perfect. You just missed the limiter there. That's perfect. 6 right, uphill, into 8 left crest, into 5 right tightens. I'm just making it up, but that's pretty much how you do a rally car. Whoops, that wasn't a 5, that was a 4.
I don't know what any of that means, Stu.
Gravel right on the apex. Yep. But also it's predictable they're going to throw gravel down right on the approach to the apex. How well does that change direction, honestly?
Just have that little lift off the throttle and the front tucks right in, doesn't it?
Okay, let's get hard on the brakes up here. Go, 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 go. And slow down. Called it a bit late, didn't I? Go, little punch rocket. Yeah, baby. What a fun little car. Blind crest. You got no idea which way it goes unless you know it goes that way. Whoa! If you didn't know it and you just came straight over the brow there, you'd be into that paddock before you.
Every time I go over that, I'm smiling. I love that car.
Oh, kangaroo!
There we are.
Look at this. Straight at us. He's going to run straight into us. Look at that, everyone.
Slippery.
Can you see that? You are in Australia. There you go.
He's not getting much grip on that road, is he?
He looked a bit spooked. They are either the smartest animal on the planet or the dumbest, because you can never guess which way they're going to go.
So the best thing is, as I just did then, if you possibly can, stop the car and let them find their way around you. Well, every Australian who grew up in the 60s or 70s watched that show, I think.
You know, it's amazing how they could understand what Skippy was saying. They'd go, how's it going, Skip? And they go, what's that you say?
Yeah. Well,
They're bank robbers.
We need the helicopter, Skip.
What, they're down at the river? They're getting away in a speedboat? The French have always done things their own way, stylistically and mechanically.
Yeah.
And the rest of the world's gone, what? What did you do that for? And they go, because we're French. When they formed a committee to design this car, they said, right, we need 3 groups. We need the engineering group, and we need the interior design and layout, and the exterior. And the engineers that came in were fantastic. I think they were all straight from the Formula 1 team.
Yeah.
But the interior, they were all bus drivers. They were used to sitting up high with a big flat wheel.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we got leather and Alcantara. It's nice, and the seats are fantastic, but they're just too high.
Yeah.
They need to come down a bit. So rather than sitting on top of the car, we should be down inside it.
Yeah, definitely.
The exterior was designed by a group of lovers of French bulldogs, because it's plug ugly. I think there's no. Can I say that?
Yeah, it has a lot of character like a French bulldog.
So we call it the punch rocket,
Yeah.
because it looks like a French bulldog from the front. What do you think of the looks?
I don't like the look of it at all. It looks like it's probably, so 2002, it looks like about a 1992 model car, but it doesn't matter. It's still a fun car. Awesome to drive.
See, if I was Renault, and I'm not, but if I was, I'd black out the B-pillar, and to make the car look a bit sleeker, maybe introduce some horizontal elements like that. Maybe even a 2-tone paint job. What do you think? You drove Formula Renault, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
06, 07?
Yeah, in Asia. So that was a lot of fun. That was my midlife crisis, back to racing open-wheeler race cars.
Well, good news, the engine in that race car is basically this engine.
It is, yeah.
2 litre.
Really good engine.
Red line on this is 6.8. What was the red line in the race car?
Yeah, I think we shifted at 7, so I got a little bit more out of it.
Yeah.
It's indestructible engine, really good race car engine.
But it comes alive at about $5,000.
Yeah, right.
So 5 till red line is it just changes, like the GT3, it changes character. Have you ever come into the pits and seen the team manager and gone, yep, that was totally on me, and actually said those words? Or have you always, like every race driver, gone, that idiot?
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you got to own up.
0 to 100 around 7 seconds in these cars. Later ones, the Cup cars, are a little bit faster, but that's really quick for a car like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were kind of known for their hot hatches, weren't they? The Renault 5 originally.
Yeah, Peugeot 205 GTI. They were the car to have as a young racing driver in Europe. If you had one of those in the late 80s, early 90s, you were doing well.
But then they ruined it out here with a bunch of bad cars, like the Renault 12 was great, but the Renault Fuego was a really unreliable piece of junk. And they're kind of renowned for bad electrics. But we've had this car 5 years, and it's had no problems at all from the mechanical side, except for, of course, the immobiliser. The key won't talk to the computer, which won't talk to the blah, blah, blah.
You can't drive the car.
But lots of features: xenon lights, fog lights, rain sensing wipers, lots of stuff you wouldn't expect for a car that's 20 years old now.
It's certainly ahead of its time.
Yep. No cruise control. Cheap, hard plastics.
Yeah.
You have to live with that.
You buy one of these for the sporty little engine, the nice gearbox.
You could also look at the Peugeot 206 GTI from the same era, which is virtually identical in every way. It's also a 2-litre twin cam. The thing is, the gearing is hopeless because it's geared for acceleration. So you're in 5th gear now, and we're doing 65 k's an hour, 70 k's an hour. On the freeway, it's going whir, and you're just constantly looking for another gear, and there isn't one.
You can never seem to get right as the seating position. The gear lever's never really in the right spot. The steering wheel's always at the wrong angle. The seats, whilst they're always comfortable and supportive, you can never quite actually get in the correct driver's position.
Yep. No, I totally agree. It's built for people with very long arms and short legs.
It is. If you had to drive it quickly on the track, it would start to become a bit of a problem for it.
This car is standard apart from a Remus exhaust, which gives that nice burble. Oh, isn't that nice?
That's good, doesn't it?
Yeah. I reckon it sounds exactly like the R32 GTR we drove the other week.
Actually, it has a similar sound. I don't know why.
That being a 6-cylinder twin turbo and this being a 4-cylinder normally aspirated, and yet they sound the same.
Yep. It does sound similar, doesn't it?
Very satisfying sound. You know how some cars actually just feel nice just to burble along in? This car does. So your first time driving this particular car, but you have driven them on the track, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Plenty of Clios and Meganes over the years. I do like the Megane. I even like the quirky earlier Megane with the odd rear window treatment. They were definitely different.
It looks disgusting. I don't see how you can like that car. All right, down one of our favourite twisty little roads.
Yeah.
You know, a little front-wheel drive hatch on our skinny 195 tyres on 15-inch wheels.
On the tighter corners, my arm here is straight.
It's impossible to fix that.
And you just can't really get that leverage on the wheel that you want. The gearbox itself, you're right, feels really, really good, but it doesn't fall naturally to hand.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of thing after a while, it would be quite annoying for me. Well, you need a lot of lock.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other cars, you've got to crank a lot of steering lock on.
The ride and suspension's fantastic.
Really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
The corner's really nice though.
You measure the performance of a car typically by kilowatts per tonne. This car has 120 kilowatts, 124, something like that. And it only weighs 1.03 tonnes, so it's just over a tonne.
Okay.
So 120 kilowatts per tonne. Now the value of performance is dollars per kilowatt per tonne. Now you could buy this car for $5,000.
Yeah.
So that gives it a performance figure of around $42 per kilowatt per tonne. Are you with me now?
Yeah,
now
I think
that's a really good measure.
Yeah.
I mean, just for fun, we'll have a look and see how the GT3 and the SLS and things compare to that.
Yeah.
I dare anybody to come up with a better performance quotient. If you can find one of these cars, around $5,000's the going rate. I think that's what we paid about 5 years ago for this one, and it's probably gone up since then.
Yeah, it'd still be worth that for sure.
You need the right mechanic though with a Renault.
You need someone who knows French cars, don't you? If you've got a French car, you need to go to someone who knows French cars.
Yeah.
You know, a good little sporty car just starts to understeer a little bit, and you just ease a little bit of throttle off, and the weight comes back on the front, and it just grips really, really nicely. Quite torquey, isn't it? 4th gear around there at about 60 k's an hour.
Yeah. It's a square motor, bore and stroke about the same, so it's got both the torque at the low end, but it'll still rev at the top. There we go. Lovely little brat when you down change there.
Yeah. Again, I have to move the hands on the wheel, pull it through. Pulls out of there nicely, doesn't it?
Very good grip there.
Yeah.
Normally most cars would be, front wheel drive cars would be chattering in the front end there. That was very good. This is a quick car. Even lugging in a
little bit of a slide there. You can feel the back just coming around a little bit. A little lift off the throttle, just comes back into line nicely. Yeah, I don't think it needs any more rubber on the road than it has. You know, it's really well balanced.
I was looking for a new car. When I first met Helen, she had a Daihatsu Charade. In fact, she'd had 2 Daihatsu Charades over more than 20 years. Right. And they were the little 3-cylinder ones. And she loved them, 40 kilowatts. And I said, but that's not the problem. The problem is it's got no airbags, no crash protection, no ABS brakes. If a Land Cruiser cleans you up, it's not going to end well. I said, we need to get you another car, and we'll get you one just like it, but safer. And she said, I want a silver hatchback, manual gearbox, really sporty. And I want to get my push bikes in the back. You can get 2 full-size push bikes in the back of this car.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
And it's only 3.77 metres long.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, I said, I know just the thing. And she said, it's got to be really zippy because my car's really zippy. And I said, your car's not really zippy. No. And you're in 5th gear by the time you get to about 50 k's an hour. Yeah. It just feels zippy because you're rowing through the gears all the time. So then we got her this, and she ticked all the boxes. And ABS, airbags, crash protection, all the stuff you really need. And she loved it. And I said, now take it for a test drive, see what you think. And the difference going from 40 kilowatts to 124 just blew her mind.
Well, if you had a budget of $5,000, what would you buy? It's got to be right up there.
What can you buy for $5,000? You know, on car sales, there's hardly any there anymore. About a year ago I looked and there were half a dozen.
Yeah.
I could only see 1 or 2 now.
Okay.
And I think they're all either crashed or rusted or broken down or they've become collectible.
Yeah.
So if you do get one, don't mess with the suspension. If you're taking it on the track, okay, you can do the white line springs and all that kind of stuff. But if it's on the road, just leave it the way it is because they're so good. And we had removalists got 2 young guys in, and they were drooling over this Renault. They were looking at the exhaust, going, "Oh, how good is that?" They didn't pay the slightest bit of attention to the Porsche, which also had a rimless exhaust.
They do have a bit of a cool factor for people who are into cars and like their driving.
Yeah.
Those people will appreciate a sporty Renault. The pedals are set up really nicely for a heel and toe. Like you can really do a nice little blip on the throttle on the downshift. So I like the way they've set the pedals up. Seats are good. Still keep going for the gear lever in the wrong spot. Seats are great. The driving position is typical French and not right, and nothing you can do to get it right.
I don't know how smart that diff is, but I
don't think it's terribly smart, but it just works really well.
Yeah.
You don't need these torque biasing diffs and all the current tech that we have. You just need a really well built diff that doesn't allow that inside wheel to just pick up and spin like crazy.
It's the rear wheels that pick up in this car. That just wanted to start moving.
Just wanted to start coming out then, didn't it? You could just feel it was nice stuff. Yes. In a little front wheel drive car, lightweight car like this, you start to trail brake the car, the back's going to come around, and actually, in fact, that's exactly what you want. If you can trail brake that to the correct amount, it'll just get the back sliding and it'll point the car the right way at the apex, and it really is the fastest way to drive one of these cars.
The interior trim gives up in the Australian sun. Like this car, the whole headlining just collapsed. It just turned to powder. It was disastrous. So this whole headlining has been replaced, and it's much better quality than the original for about $300. So,
and your LCD displays still work? They usually give up in French cars in Australia?
Allez, voiture, allez!
A little bit of that trail brake in there.
Rear grip's really good.
Yeah, it does.
And a Ranger.
Dodge Ram, just what you want.
Dodge Ram.
I don't think we'll be doing a review on a Dodge Ram anytime soon.
Yes, we have to. Dodge Ram eats utes for breakfast. Woo! I think we found the limit of our not terribly expensive front tyres just then.
Yeah.
Very nice handling. Lots of safety systems. Plenty of power. Maybe not as the very first car, maybe as a second car for a young person.
Yeah.
Really good personality score. Really good value score. Performance score. Practicality score.
Yeah.
We might have the new best ever record setter.
Yeah.
So here's the score. Look at it now.
That might blow out. There it is right
Wow.
there. How do we end up with that? What happened?
That's perilously
$5,000
close.
car.
Perilously close to 20. You know, I said to Helen before we came out, do you trust Mark with your car? And she said, absolutely.
Of course.
No one takes it seriously on the road. Unless people know, they look at it and go, I'm not going to sit behind that at the traffic lights. Look at it. Oh hey, you made it right through to the end of the video. Congratulations. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please share it with your motoring friends. And above all, click the little subscribe thing down here so you can see the latest videos when we bring them out, hopefully each week. I look forward to seeing you soon.